behind the scenes look and little tidbit for you, behind the scenes info. This is our second to last weekly show. After that, we're going to go to As Needed. So please comment throughout the show on Facebook. We can show some of your comments on the air. Today, we are coming up, we want to make sure you're okay. So we're doing another mental health check as part of our IAM-EAP series. Activate Live starts now.
Activate your voice. Activa tu voz. Activate it now.
Speak up. Speak out. Get involved. Get involved. Engage-toi.
Take action.
Aktiviere deine Stimme.
We're union and we're proud.
Welcome to Activate Live. I'm Tanya Hutchins, coming to you from Machinists Union headquarters in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. We'll get to our interview in just a moment, but first, more than 4,300 members of IAM Local 6 at Bath Iron Works in Maine, members voted over the weekend to strike last Sunday at midnight over several issues. Here are the issues here: stop out-of-state subcontracting, respect for seniority rights, and also affordable health care. And there's the changes that are proposed in the latest 3-year contract offer, which they rejected. It's been 20 years since the last strike. Now, the Machinists Union members all over North America are in solidarity, supporting our union siblings on social media and on the picket line. Here's a tweet from the IAM recently. We have a quote. IAM Local S6 President Chris Weir says, "We are proud to build the best ships in the world, and we want to keep it that way. We want jobs at the shipyard to be high-quality jobs that members can earn a decent living over a long career." Now, we will continue to follow the strike. Solidarity goes out to everyone on the line. Union members rallied in support of the Black Lives Matter movement last Friday on Juneteenth, which marked the day in 1865 that Texas slaves found out they were free. In Washington, D.C., as you see here, union members served food and marched to the White House from the AFL-CIO building on 16th Street, about 2 blocks away, around Lafayette Park, and then back to the starting point. Similar events took place across the country. Texas State Council of Machinists President Byron Williams was on the Valley Labor Report in Alabama before speaking at a rally for Black Lives in Huntsville, hosted by the Texas State Council of Machinists, the Texas AFL-CIO, and the Alabama NAACP. Well, the IAM is very unique in that we have our own member-to-member employee assistance program with 2 24/7 helplines. Our members trust their confidentiality with the IAM-EAP service more so than an unknown third-party company EAP. Here's the national helpline here, 301-335-0735. Now that means our members get the help they need when they need it. Here are the 24/7 helplines available to all Machinists Union members. And to enhance this valuable membership service, we're collaborating with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention in providing our EAP representatives training and tools to help members cope. Joining us now is Kat Olbrich, the Maryland and Delaware Area Director. Thanks for taking the time to join us, Kat.
Thanks for having me.
Well, first off, tell us a little bit about AFSP.
Yes, so the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention was founded 30 years ago by loss survivors, so families that had a loss to suicide. And back then, we had no idea why people were dying by suicide. So they teamed up with researchers to find out more. And today, we actually can tell people the science behind suicide. We can educate our community about warning signs, risk factors, how to reach out to somebody. We also advocate on a local and national level and provide support for loss survivors.
Now, you mentioned you advocate on the local level. How many chapters do you have, and what is it that they do on that local level?
Yeah, so currently we have over 70 chapters across the nation. So wherever you are, there's a chapter. You just have to go on afsp.org and find your local chapter. We're always looking for volunteers, but as a chapter, we provide free educational trainings about suicide prevention and mental health. So if you're a business or you want to bring these to your community, we can do that. We also talk to our local representatives and give our volunteers the opportunity to talk to their representatives about their loss or their struggle with mental health. And then we have each year Survivor Day, which is a day where loss survivors can come together and learn about each other's healing journey. And each of our chapters also provides a program called Healing Conversations.
Tell us about that, the Healing Conversations program.
Yeah, so Healing Conversations is a peer-to-peer support program. So if you go online and you fill out an application or call us and tell us, for example, that you lost a sibling to suicide, then your local chapter representative will find another trained volunteer that also had a loss of a sibling, and they will either call you up or you meet them for coffee and they will share their story of healing. They're usually 5 or 10 years out from their loss, so they know what local resources are available, how their journey was, and you as a loss survivor can learn from them how to heal as well.
You know, this can help so much because a lot of us are dealing with loss as well from COVID-19. So we can use a lot of these, coping tactics. How important is self-care for our mental health? And what does self-care look like?
Yeah, so I like to say that nobody knows how to do self-care for real. But it is so important because without the self-care, our mental health will not be the same and it will not function properly. So self-care can be a bubble bath and champagne if you want to, but self-care can be anything that makes you happy, that makes you calm, that gives you some time to breathe, to think, to be creative. So that might be a hobby, going outside for a quick walk, spending time with family, or just binge watching. Whatever makes you happy, but just something different, something that is for yourself, to take care of yourself and your mental health.
So what can we tell ourselves when we get stressed or experience anxiety? Because I know that we kind of talk to ourselves silently a lot.
Yes, that's how you talk to yourself is most important because you apparently listen to yourself all day. But right now, while we are facing a pandemic and the riots and so many other things, I really encourage you to focus on the things that you can control. So whenever you feel, anxiety or signs of a mental health condition come up, remind yourself on what you are in control of. For example, your daily routine. You are the one that can create your daily routine, can decide what you want to do. You can make sure that your weekdays maybe look similar to your regular work days, and then the weekend you have off. Remind yourself that you only watch a little bit of news at the moment because it can be very negative and influence the way how you think. Make also sure that you have a good sleeping routine. Connect with friends and family, anything that you can control right now and that makes you happy. So try to stay focused on that and always talk to yourself in a positive way.
Good advice. It's not easy to ask for help, especially when we talk about mental health. How can someone ask for help if they struggle with their mental health?
Yeah, so we all know that there's a huge stigma attached to mental health, but I really encourage you, especially during this time, to ask for help. And I know it's not easy, but find the person that you can trust, whether it's a family member or a friend, maybe even a coworker. And then also find time to sit down with them and have this conversation. Be sure that this person has time for you because we all have stuff going on, but find a time where both of you can focus and then analyze what's going on. You might don't really understand, something is off, but you're not sure what it is. Share what's going on in your mind and try to figure out how you can get help. Are there any mental health resources available? You can always call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. They have great resources available. They always connect you to a local resource center so they can tell you what's available in your area. Or you can just text at 741-741. Both are free services available 24/7, and they're anonymous.
Now, we had up that graphic about the real conversation, not just a conversation that doesn't, that touches the surface. Can you take us through these steps of how you have a real conversation when you're reaching out?
Yes. So again, really find a time that works for both parties where you can, you're not being disturbed or interrupted. Find a space that you feel safe in. And then just really describe what's going on. And if somebody doesn't respond right away or doesn't quite understand, don't give up yet. It might take several attempts to actually have this conversation. And then once you had that conversation, also follow up. As somebody who asked, you can maybe then thank again for the other person's time, that they were willing to listen. But also as the helper, you can check in with that person. Now you know that they're struggling. So it's not a big deal to, send a text or call every now and then and just make sure that they're safe. Especially with senior citizens right now, it would be great if you can just check in with them on a regular basis, make sure, they have support, the services they need, maybe run some errands for them, or just listen to what they have to say. A lot of people who struggle with their mental health just need somebody that listens to them to process their thinking and their thoughts.
So listening sounds like it's so important. We have members who have gone through EAP training, the Employee Assistance Program training, and part of the training was about suicide prevention and mental health provided by AFSP. What kind of a difference does it make having someone on the shop floor with these skills?
Mm-hmm. As a community, we are not really well educated about mental health. If I break a bone or if I have a stomach ache, I can tell what it is. But with our brain and our mental health, it's a little bit tricky to point that out. So we try to educate your members on what a mental health condition could look like, what are some of the warning signs, but also how to reach out to a coworker, how to ask, are you okay? Are you thinking about suicide? But with that knowledge, they can also educate their own families and their whole community. So they can be a helper wherever they go. But especially for their coworkers, they can be there if there's something off.
So tell us a little bit about your Out of the Darkness community walks, because I know you have some coming up and I know they raise awareness, but they're going to be different this year. I understand some of them may be virtual. So tell us about the walks.
Yeah, so the Out of the Darkness walks are our fundraising event, but most importantly, they raise awareness for mental health and suicide prevention. And we have over 400 walks in fall and a couple hundred walks in spring on campuses. This year, of course, they will look a little bit different, and we don't know quite yet what they will look like. We hope for in-person events, but if not, we will just go virtual. But as you can see, we wear these honor beads. They're Mardi Gras beads. Each color represents a loss or your connection to mental health. And this is so important for us because when we walk around and each of us wears probably several colors, we can connect with others without even having to say something. We can see that we are not alone in this struggle, and that there's a community out there that loves us. So the people that attend are either loss survivors, they have their own struggle with mental health, they support somebody struggling with mental health, but we just want to let them know that they're not alone.
Now, in the past, you've even had overnight events, is that right?
Yeah, so that was our original fundraiser, and we usually have 2 overnight walks. They're 16 to 18 miles where we walk out of the darkness during the night. And this year, we were supposed to have it in New York City, and we just did it last Saturday as a virtual event. So we all joined some exercise activities for 25 days, a challenge to be active, take care of our mental health and physical health, but also show this community that they're not alone despite not being able to walk together.
Well, we've talked about a lot, and a lot of the things that you have told us have helped so much, and we so appreciate the partnership that you have with the IAM. Is there anything else you'd like to mention?
Yeah, I just want to point out that June was Pride Month and July is going to be Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. And with everything going on, we just really want to be a partner for anyone who needs resources. So please check in with your local chapter for any training opportunities to learn more about mental health and suicide prevention. We will have a lot of resources for minorities, for different kind of communities to make sure that everybody has the tools to take care of their mental health and then actually prevent suicide.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today, Kat.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
That was Kat Olbrich from the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And remember, when you need to talk to someone about layoffs, furloughs, or any topic that affects your well-being, 24/7 assistance is available on the IAM-EAP helpline. We also have the Addiction Services helpline, 888-250-4IAM, and that's 4426. This is 24/7, and we're so glad that members are using this line as well as the other helpline, and someone will pick up right away to help, even if you just need to talk or if you need resources. So how are you doing, and what do you think about the IAM's EAP program? Have you taken the EAP training? Let us know. Activate your voice right here on this video, no matter which platform you're watching or when you're watching. We want to hear from you. Well, here's a heads up on a few events that are happening soon, so grab a pen, pencil, type it in, or mark your calendar. You can catch the IAM Legislative Director Hassan Solomon on a Real Talk series called Brothers Can We Talk. It's sponsored by the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation tonight at 7 p.m. You can watch it on the organization's Facebook, Periscope, or YouTube channel. And the hashtag is Roland Martin Unfiltered. Also, we have some events coming up. The AFL-CIO is hosting a virtual town hall series with all of its constituency groups. The next one is June 25th with Pride at Work, and you can watch this on Facebook Live. And then you can see the remaining future dates on here that run through August. So be sure to save all of these dates for all of the remaining constituency groups. You see APRI is July 9th, APALA July 23rd, CLU, the Coalition of Labor Union Women, is August 6th. And LACLA will be August 20th, so save those dates. And on June 30th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, the AFL-CIO holds its George Meany Lane Kirkland Human Rights Award ceremony. This year, the honoree is the Civil Human Rights Front of Hong Kong for its inspiring efforts to organize a powerful movement for democracy and human rights. Catch the ceremony June 30th at 10:30 a.m. by registering at this website that you see on the bottom line. It's go.aflcio.org 2020 awards. And again, that will be on Facebook Live. Here's a look at this week in labor history, and it's a jam-packed one. June 23rd, 1947. The Anti-Worker Taft-Hartley Act passed over President Truman's veto. The act weakened unions by allowing states to exempt themselves from union requirements. 20 states immediately enacted anti-union open shop laws. On June 25th, 1981, the National Association of Letter Carriers, NALC, and APWU, the American Postal Workers Union, that they had their first Solidarity Day. That year, the APWU and NALC formed a joint bargaining committee and negotiated together until 1994. Power in numbers, working together. June 27th, 1905, the Industrial Workers of the World was founded. Members are known as Wobblies. And a little tidbit for you that we don't have a graphic for, but on this day in 1971, there was a water tunnel that collapsed or exploded in Sylmar, California, which is not far from where Guide Dogs of America is. And I actually tweeted this from my personal account, but there were 17 workers that were killed. And at the time, they worked for Lockheed Shipbuilding. So this was a very important date because of that incident You know, the government had to fine the company, but it really had the company looking at safety measures. So we can never forget these items in labor history so that we can learn from them. Well, support your union siblings. Spread the word about this video to your local or district page. And thanks to all of you who already do. Next week will be our last weekly show. After that, we'll only do special editions of Activate Live. So please join us next Wednesday. And thank you to all of you who have watched us.